This is Irontrader. This is the last call of the day. So we'll take a look here at Bitcoin, at that Ethereum ETF, ETHU, gold, silver, crude oil, natural gas. Look at the indexes, which are all red. Okay, at the end of the video, the support and resistance levels are posted for crude and natural gas. This video is for information only, not a recommendation to buy selling stock market ETF. Please like, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Here we have Bitcoin daily and weekly chart. Now you can see here how the market is selling off. The Dow's down about $1.60, S&P is down 28, and the old Nasdaq's down about 148. And it's taking Bitcoin right on with it. Now yesterday we hit this really nice high of 127, 240 level, and we closed at 123. We closed at 126, 180 above this level right here, which we're looking for, 125, 200. But look at this big red candle that we have today, wiped out everything that we had, and now we're looking to go lower. Okay, so right now what we have is today's low here was 121, 525 level. Okay, so what we're really looking for next is going to be right here. It's going to be 120, 405 level. Okay, then we come over here to the top of this candle here, 119, 810 level, and then we'll come over to the top of that candle right there at 119, 145, and then this is what we're looking for is this 118, 996. Now you can see how the 8-day crossover, 21-day to 50-day, and now she's rolling up. So this should provide pretty good support here, what we have to see, okay? Now remember, one day does not make a market, so don't worry, we got one red candle, big deal, okay? So we gotta see here what we do when those futures open tonight at 6 o'clock, how this actually trades, and how Bitcoin's gonna close here today at that 4 p.m. Time frame, okay? But again, watch this 8-day because as that futures open, that 8-day will be higher, and it should provide very good support. Maybe, as I say, if it does hold it, then that would be a good buying opportunity here, take a rate back up and retest that 127, 244 level. Now here on the upside, here what we're looking for is right there is a 122.4, 122.40 level. Then we come over here at the top of that candle, 122.955, and then we'll come over top of that candle, 123.615, and then we can look here for the bottom of that candle at 123.745. And then we're going to be looking again for this top of this candle at 125.200. Now we crack above that, we go through to today's high, 126.295, and then there's your big target, 127.240. You crack that, you can go to that 130 and then eventually 135 level here, okay? So let's see how this all shakes out. We've got a nice big red candle today. So I'm looking for a buying opportunity today in the BITX. Now I'm a long-term holder, but I'm also a trader of this here. There just wasn't anything, but actually it was I took a little bit of a short ski today on the BITI. That worked out pretty good. Now I'm all out of the trade. Now what I'm doing is I'm just watching to see exactly what's going to happen here if it goes lower, and as that 8-day rises up, where it's actually going to stop, kind of a situation. Now we never got to an bought condition. It just came right on up here below that 70 mark, and now she's curling off. The green is still over your red, but let's just give it a little time to shake out, kind of a situation. So bottom line, just watch today's low. That's going to be very key, but this 8-day, that's going to be very, very crucial. Then you always have the 21-day, and we have that 50-day rate below all that, okay? So that's always very, very good support. On the upside, we just watch that candle, that 122.40 level, and then we can watch the bottom of there, 127.240. We watch 125.25, and then we just march it right up to 127.240. So we'll be trading against today's candle. Let's see how it closes at 4 o'clock, and let's see how it opens back up at that 6 p.m. Futures tonight. Now you can see here on the weekly chart, which you always want to put up, still very, very bullish chart. Just kind of came all the way down to the 50-day, and it's still a very, very bullish chart. Now you can see here how we got so far on top, topping tail on the weekly, like we had here and we had here. Okay, so we had that double top, came right on down. And usually what this is, the bull's right on through. So now let's just see what kind of retest it has to have. But we have to get right back above that 125.200. That's going to be key. Have to get back above that, and then we can retest that 127.240 level. RSI here, well, you're only sitting here at 62. That's got plenty of room to run. But again, this is only one day. Let's see how long, how it all of a sudden shakes out. Kind of a situation is what we're really looking for, because there's really no topping tail. It's just a red candle, just like what we have on the Dow, the S&P, and the old Nasdaq. Okay, let's take a look here now at Ethereum ETF. All right, here we have ETHU. Now, this is the Ethereum ETF, okay? So you can see pretty much the same thing. Now, we made a little bit higher high. We got above that 168.49 level. We made a high of a 169.45. You notice that couldn't hold it, and then one candle here, we wiped out the last 2 days of trading. Now, today's low here, what we had is 147.23. So what we're really watching is right there is that 21-day 144.55 and that 144.28. That's going to be very key. And then your 8-day at 142.98. Now, if this keeps trying on selling, then we want to watch the bottom of this candle. This is your gap, 137.40, and then we want to watch the top of that candle at that 139.90 level. Okay, gap and your fill kind of a situation. Then we look to the bottom of the candle, 125.40 level. Then we come down here, looking at 114.84, and then we have 109. But always watch that gap, that 130.90 level, and watch that fill, 137.40 level. If we lose that 21 50-day and that 8 SMA here. Now, upside here, we want to do obviously just the reverse. We want to come right up top of that candle, 152.95 level. We come to the bottom there. You're looking at 156.91. Then we venture up there at 158 flat. We'll come right to the top of this candle here, 165, and then we have that retest up there at 168.49 level. But right now, this is trading like with Bitcoin and like the markets, and it's just kind of selling off. Now, this never got to an overbought condition. It's just selling right on and off kind of a situation. Ethereum here on the weekly, well, let's just take here. We're looking for to hold this 8-day. Now, yesterday, our last week's candle, you can see how it went right up to that 8-day. This week so far, we went right in there above it, but we have that topping tail, and now we're below that a key 8-day here so far for the week. But again, this is only Tuesday, okay? So you're really on the upside, you got to get back above that 152.60. Then we can go to last week's high, 158 flat. Then we can retest this 169.45. Then work yourself right on up there, 174.97 and 188.73 level. Now, if we keep selling here on the downside, well, then we'll be looking for the bottom of that candle. That's at 141 level. We can look to the top of here, 135.80, and then we look to the bottom. You're looking at 125, and then we start running into your 110 level, and then we have your 108 level there, your 21-day and your 50 SMA. But right now here, let's just see if we can hold that 21-day, that 50-day, and that 8-day. If we can, that could be a buying opportunity here to take it higher. If we lose it, always watch that gap and that fill and possible retest. All right, take a look here at gold and silver. All right, here we have gold, here we have silver. Now you can see gold here, as I was talking about here, we come up to this level. I said 37 and 37.20 level. Okay, you got as high as 37.15. Same way I came up here, I said 38, 38.20, came up to 38.24. Then up here, I said about 39. 100 or 39.20 level, and then we had that 4,000 range, which is always a target, or 4,020 if it kind of shoots on over. Okay, so let's see how this work out. Now we're outside that price channel like we had here, and then usually wants to come right on in. We had a couple days out, and then wants to come right back in. We had a couple days out, and then it wants to come in. A couple days out, and then wants to come in. So be a little patient with this, but we have 4,014. But now it looks like they want to push this here to that 5,000 mark. But let's just see how that's all going to shake out. So your next obviously level is 4,050, then 4,100, and you could overshoot it by 4,120 kind of a situation. But this looks like they want to push this up higher. This right now is not for me. You have a way overbought condition. You're way above 80. The green is over your red. Yes, but here, but this is just not for me. I took no trade at all yesterday. I took a trade in GLD. Today, no trade at all. This is getting nosebleed here a little bit. I feel a little bit uncomfortable. I'm not really what you call a gold trader or silver trader. I'm more of a crude oil, natural gas, gasoline, Bitcoin, now all the tech stocks, anything in that order. So I don't really feel comfortable at these nosebleed sections. However, if you do, you know what I'm saying, you can take a trade and this could keep on rolling higher, but eventually you're going to hit the wall and it's going to hit the wall very, very hard kind of a situation. On the downside here, we just want to watch this level. You're looking at that 39.22 level, and then we come down here 39.01. That's your 8 SMA. Long as that price is holding the 8-day, we got sideways to up action. But this is just like getting a little bit nosebleed kind of a situation for me. It's got to have a little bit more of a correction, a little more consolidation. Then I would take a long as far as the gold goes. Okay, now silver is not really reacting the same way as the gold. Yesterday we hit that 48.61. Today we only hit 48.55, made a lower high, and then came right on down. But you notice that it's holding that 50-day, or that 8-day. See that 8-day? See, it's holding that. So that's going to be key support, 47.29. Your next level, 46.55, and then we come right down here to the bottom of this candle. You're looking at 45.71 level. Then we could come over here top of this candle. You look at 44.77, and then we have 44.65 level. But again, as long as we're holding that 8-day on a closing basis, sideways to up action kind of a situation, okay? So now on the upside, what we're watching, we're going to be watching the top of that candle, 47.41 level. We'll come top of there, 48.01, and then we have your retest at 48.621. Eventually, I believe this is going to go to that 50 mark. We're getting very, very close, but it looks like that. But again, we have this way overbought condition. Now, as you can see where it came on down with the red candle, and this is still ramping on up here, but this is FOMO, and eventually you're going to get burned alive on this. Okay, so just take that into consideration. Okay, let's take a look here now at crude oil and natural gas. Okay, here we have crude oil, here we have natural gas. Now, crude oil, the API report will be out today at 4:30, and we'll see how that's going to shake out here. Again, now remember, OPEC is adding 137,000 barrels per day in November, and last time they were adding about the same for this month in October. But again, they overshot that by quite a bit. It was like almost 300,000 per barrel. So yeah, the market is fully supplied. The question is, if there's any kind of a disruption kind of situation, where you can have the premium like we had here when we had that Iran and Israel war. You had about a $10 premium, and then she just came right on off. Okay, upside. Let me bigger up here a little bit here for you. Upside, very, very easy trade here. Okay, this is what you're looking for, 62.20. That's your 8-day. Okay, right above that, 62.97, your 21-day. Right above that, 63.81, and then we have 64.78, your 100-day. Above that, we just hit top of that candle, 65.40, and then we have that 66.57. Okay, so right now your price is below all your simple moving averages, but that doesn't mean if you have any kind of a disruption, anything that can blow higher. But when you see this red chart here off of this double top, see this double top right here? See, right there, double top, came right on down here. We have that big red flag situation and kind of like a bear flag situation. So if we can't get above that 8-day and stretch it out to the 2150-day, this is going to go lower. So what we're watching here on the downside is we watch the top of that candle, okay, 61.38. We'll look to the bottom there at that 61.04. And then this is what you're going to be looking for is this 60.40 level. That's going to be very, very critical on a closing basis if we lose that. Then the next target, bottom line, is going to be right there. Okay, very simple, 59.74. Then we just bring it over, next slide, 57.74, and then we have a retest down here at 55.30 and 55.12 kind of a level. But again, we're holding this sideways, but we do have that double top situation, and it's sold out very, very nicely. Really good shorting opportunity. And now it's basically a scalping opportunity. I didn't do anything in there. Today, I was just focusing on Palantir, which was such a great trade. It got all the way down to 179.42, okay? And I bought it at 180 flat, and then it rallied all the way up to 185 and change. I sold it, and I got 5 points out of that, out of Palantir. So now I'm looking at to buy it again. And also on Netflix was also a very, very good trade today. It looks like when the market is down, Netflix is rallying up. Okay, so always just kind of keep in mind now, Amazon had a pretty good day today because they got their Prime going on. They're up a little bit. NVIDIA's up a little bit. But right now, the markets overall are pretty red kind of a situation. Now, you're sitting here at 44. That's not overbought or oversold. The green is still below your red. Bottom line, this is very, very easy trade here. Okay. You crack the 8-day, you got the 21-day. You crack that, you go into 50. You crack that, you go into the 100. You crack that, you go into 200. Just that simple. Downside, you got to really watch that 60-40, okay? So you're trading between 60-40 and that 8-day at 62.20, see? So you got to just trade this range until it either going to break up higher or she's going to break down lower. Okay, natty gas. Now, natty gas is something I did trade today because we are holding this key 8 SMA. I trade UNG for the natural gas, and it worked out very, very nicely on the UNG. I took, I think it was like, I think I had 3 scalps in it there today. So UNG was a very, very good trade. Now remember, like UNG, if you trade KOLD or you trade UCO for the oil or SCO, these trade 24 hours a day now. So from Sunday night at 8 o'clock at night, you can trade it all the way to Friday at 8 o'clock at night. Okay, so you can, a lot of times I'll have stuff set. As long as this holds this 8-day, then it, to me, is a buying opportunity here to take this higher. I think in natural gas, you're coming to this time of the year right now, to the end of November, and that could run up very, very nicely. Now, you can see here we're sitting there right around 249, so we're just right above or hanging right around that 248 level, 49 level. See, 248, 49. We're sitting right there at that 200-day. Your next level, obviously, is right here, is at 358. Okay, that's just very, very simple. Now, if it keeps right on running, okay, very, very easy trade here. You get above that key level, then we're going to come right over here, just bring it right over there. You got 3.62. We bring this level up there. You got 3.75. Then we come up to that level, 3.84, 88, 3.94, come up there at 4 flat, and then we have your retest at 4.14. Now remember, when natural gas moves, it can move, okay? Now right here, you're only sitting at 67. This is nowhere near overbought, but that can go much higher. The green is over your red, so this can go very, very good. Now we had this really nice double bottom. That was the tell to get in there, okay, at that 277 level. That's why I always say watch some gaps in and fills. It doesn't have to always fill it. A lot of times it comes on the gap, and that provides very good support. Then we had a contract rolled up, and then we had this topping tail. So the key is you got to get back to that above that topping tail, then it negates it, and then we can take this take it much higher. Okay, so right now, this is the key right here. We're holding right around that 349 with that 200 SMA. We're hanging right above it. We get next line, just look at that price channel at 358. We crack that, then we start going higher. Okay, the downtrend now is still broken. We had a high, lower high situation. Now we just need to get crack above that key level, that 358. Once you do, okay, then we can start hitting all these targets all the way until we hit in that 4 level. Okay, let's take a look at the indexes. All right, turnaround Tuesday is playing out here just like it says, turnaround Tuesday. Yesterday we had a green day, today we have a red day, but always remember one day does not make a market, okay? We had this topping tail, 47,000, which I figured that's where we're going to be going to. Came right on down, and now we're holding this level here, but you notice we're holding that 8-day, okay? Look how strong that 8-day is. Came right on down, we're holding. Now, if we lose that 8-day, then your next level is going to be that 21-day sitting at 46,186. We lose that, you're going to come to the bottom of that candle at 45,785, and we can work our way down to the 50 SMA here very, very easily, okay? We got negative divergences going on here on your RSI. This is just sideways action, but we still have this good uptrending situation. So again, as long as we hold it at 8-day, we're going to be sideways to up action. So on the upside, watch the top of that candle, 46,714, and then we can have the retest there at 47,49 level. Okay, so just watch that 46,114. Always look to the left of the chart. Then that retest, you crack that. Who knows where you can go because it's got blue sky. Now you can do Fibonacci's in here, but it can blow through the Fibonacci's just like nothing here too. So obviously you just go to the next level, 47, 100, 200, 500, 48,000 kind of a situation. But right now we have a good uptrending market, but it has to keep holding that 8-day and that 21-day. Eventually this is going to be lost, and she's going to come down, and it's going to come down pretty damn hard. Question is just when. Okay, so S&P, same thing. I was looking for that 67 mark. We overshot it by 67.54 level here. Now today it came down, but you notice what to do? Held that 8-day again. Okay, we lose that 8-day, we got the 21-day. Lose the 21-day, we're going to come down to the bottom here, 65.69. We lose that, we got the 50-day kind of a situation. Okay, so it's all just the same old shit. Both of these charts and this chart here. Okay, we got negative divergence going on here, but it doesn't really seem to matter as long as that price is above that 8-day and holding that 8-day. It's going to be sideways to up action. Okay, here we have the Nasdaq. Okay, you can see negative divergence going on, and you got the same chart again. Look at this. Okay, see where we break that? We made a higher high, 23,000. This is what I was looking for, 23,000. I was looking for 47,000 there, 6,700 right here, and 23,000 there. So it looks like we hit that 23,000 mark, overshot it by a little bit, and then we have this red candle. Now you're holding this 8-day, and that's going to be key. Okay. 22,730, that's going to be very, very critical. We lose that, then we come down to your 21-day. We lose that, then we can come down to the bottom of that candle at that 22.58, and then we have your 50-day all the way down there. But all these charts here look exactly the same. Again, for me, this is just a trader's market. Pick something that is moving, okay? So usually I'll trade Tesla, okay? Now, I did a Tesla short today on TSLS, and that worked out very, very good. Now, Tesla's coming out with their new cheaper version. They got the robots. They got all this kind of stuff here. But again, remember, this is a FOMO stock, okay? So just always when these meme stocks, they run, jump on the bag run again. Long or short, don't worry about it. You know what I'm saying? But don't get wrapped up to it. But today, the trade for me was Palantir. That was a good 5-point trade there. That was really good. On Netflix, I'm still holding there. I'm up, what am I up there? 18 points so far on Netflix. So I'm still holding on that one there. NVIDIA was a pretty good scalp. I sold out of the trade. It got as high as that 189 level. I didn't get that. I got 188.50, and I dumped out of that one. But again, overall, I got a little bit shorty on the Bitcoin there today, so I'm just kind of a waiting pattern on stuff. But there's always trade. If you don't see exactly what you want, just find something else. Find something that is moving. Okay, that's the thing. Now, natural gas was a really good trade in UNG. So there is always something. But just remember, when you're up here at these nosebleed, these are traders markets. Okay, down here, yeah, we're buy and hold, buy and hold, buy and hold. But up here, traders market, you get one little thing that's going to come off here, and all these people here are going to be stuck way up on top here, and this could come down crashing really hard. So remember, always protect your money. All right, that's what I got for you. I'll be back here tomorrow morning. We'll do it all over again. Trade what's in front of you, not what you want.